What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be taking a look at this Controli GT105 gaming PC. What's awesome about this is it does come in a very small form factor, but it does pack a punch. You're going to have a Ryzen 7 Pro built in with 32 gigs of DDR5 and a 1 terabyte SSD, all in this tiny little package here. You can see it's got a bunch of connectors, everything you're going to need, plenty of HDMI outputs. You're going to be able to have up to 4 monitors hook up with this. You're also going to have a display port and a bunch of USBs. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like when it comes out of the package here, and then do some benchmarking and a little bit of gaming.
All right, guys, what you're going to get in the box here, I like that it's just a white box, but you're going to get an instruction manual. You're also going to get the mini PC itself. You can see here, super small power button, 2 super speed USBs. This is your 4th USB-C here, headphone jack. You've got a little microphone built into it there. You can see the sides look nice. And then the back, you've got a bunch of ports. You've got 2 2.5 gig Ethernet, 2 more USBs, a USB 4, your power input here, a display port, and then HDMI. Then down here in the bottom, you're going to get some mounting hardware here. That's pretty cool. You're going to get an HDMI cable, power cable, and then your power adapter. This is a beefy little guy right here. 19 volts, like 6 or 7 amps. All right, guys, the computer is up and running. You can hear how quiet it is. I have everything hooked up in the back. And then you can see here, it boots right into Windows. So let's go ahead and start doing some benchmarking and testing. All right, just wanted to get a quick little shot here. You can see you've got your Ryzen 7 Pro. Basically, no CPU usage. You have all of your logical cores. Everything's running really smoothly. You've got your 32 gigs of that DDR5, your NVMe, ready for lightning speed. And then also wanted to point out that you do have the NPU and the GPU here, and you can see we're not using much on it right now. So let's go ahead and start trying to max this out. All right, guys, just a few little stats here. We are downloading and installing a couple of games, getting ready. You can see here we've got great Ethernet usage, topping out really fast. That 2.5 gig Ethernet is going to be awesome, especially for gaming. You've also got some really fast write speeds right here with the PCI Express SSD, the NVMe, and then also we've got quick RAM. And what's really nice too, even with Windows 11, we're not using too much of it. And then we have our CPU usage here also. So again, we're not even really using a lot of this CPU to do all these installations and everything. All right, guys, you can see here we got some command prompt stuff going on. Down here we've got our instance of Ollama running locally. This is pulling up a prompt, what happened on January 1st of 2014. Over here we're watching some movie trailers, and up here in the top we got a Hyper-V instance running, basically installing Windows 10 onto this machine. Now if you look over here on this side, we do have about 70-80% CPU utilization, and it is running at about 4.7 gigahertz. Our memory is about 81% full, so it's hitting the reserve, but we also have only 9% of the GPU being utilized. What's cool though is you have all of this stuff running locally. It's taking up a lot of resources, but you can see here the video still nice and smooth. This is also running at a high resolution here. 720p, we can crank this up to 1080, no problem. You can see you can flip that in there. All the way full screen. How fantastic this screen looks, and with the monitor, everything's running nice and smooth. Again, you have all your prompts running. Have a lot of disk hits here, about 400 megs a second, with it writing all of these files and reading everything. So overall, I'd say definitely pretty cool, the fact that this very tiny machine is able to produce all of this powerful stuff on a very high resolution screen. All right, guys, got a little racing action going right now. With medium settings, You can see up here we're hitting pretty respectable frame rates at 1080p. This has got a lot of stuff going on the track right here. That's why you gotta pay attention when you drive. You can see here we're hitting 60 frames a second with medium settings, 1080p. Pretty amazing coming from this small little box right there next to you. Again, everything, you're getting good GPU utilization, only 85%. Everything's staying all within good limits, even with this terrible driving. So one thing that's really nice about having this Radeon system here is that you have all these different options. Like you can do fluid motion, boost with frame generation. You can see here, that's jumping this up to 95 frames. So let's see if it actually feels like it's smoother. I'll tell you, it definitely looks a lot more responsive, a lot smoother. We're hitting over 100 frames now. Obviously, again, these are generated, but at the same time, it does actually make a big difference with the game to make it a lot more playable and a lot smoother. So I think that's a pretty cool little feature. And if you just start doing crazy stuff here, you know, we're hitting 120 frames a second all day. So big difference, doubles the frame rate with running stuff like that. All right, guys, running a little 3D mark here. You can see we're getting about up in the 90s, 70s for the benchmark. See there at 1080p, hitting over 100. Pretty respectable frame rates for 3D mark. All right, now we're running the DirectX 11. We're hitting around 100 frames for both the frame counters. See here we're at about 65. And then here we're running DirectX 12. You can see the frame rates here. Things running really nice and smooth. And here we're hitting over 100 frames. Hitting over 100 frames, 110. All right, guys, we got a little CPU mark action, pass mark. What's nice here is that this system is ranked in the 83rd percentile. And when you look at these different performance metrics, these are pretty good for what you're getting in this tiny little computer. 130 frames a second. And if you come down and turn on the frame rate boost, we're now cranking at 160 frames, 175. Pretty big difference there. All right, guys, let's check out our NPU performance. Looks like we got balanced performance here. Pretty many words a second, 460 tokens a second. That's pretty good. All right, guys, we got a little delta force here. We're at 59 frames. See here, pretty locked in. All right, guys, you can see here, running at 60 frames. All right, guys, here's a quick shot of the bottom. You can hear that fan running. Pretty quiet, considering we are running at 95% GPU utilization right now and a little over 50% CPU, and everything's staying at 60 Celsius. So definitely think that it's doing a good job keeping everything cool. That shows you how efficient the unit is. All right, guys, we got a little Pragmatica here. You can see we're getting a very respectable 45 frames a second, 50. Get a little burst here and there with this game. And this is with all medium settings and also having ray tracing turned on. So overall, I can say this is a pretty great little box here. I'm really surprised at how well it does and all the features that it has. There's really good stats on this thing for how small it is. It's very small, compact. You can take this to LAN parties, everything like that, and still get really respectable frame rates for AAA games.